So my name is Ed Fletcher, and I'm a reporter at the Sacramento Bee, and I was a student body president in high school. So people often say, oh, you're student body president, you must have been popular, but that's kind of a misnomer because the cool kids really didn't like me. So I kind of bounced around between the geeks that were kind of boring and the jocks that were kind of dumb. Sorry, friends. All right, so junior year, I had gotten moved up into the smart people English class. And so it's Mrs. Curtis's class, and she was real particular about how everything was lined up. And everybody had to sit in alphabetical order, and the room had to be just perfect. Mrs. Curtis was also a smoker, and she had to go and leave campus between classes to go smoke, and she'd go off to the park, and she'd burn a quick one, and then she'd hustle back to class. So often we'd be in class before she got to class. So somewhere along the line, we started this game of moving her little picture of Ernest Hemingway, or we'd turn him upside down or turn him backwards. She'd always walk in, she'd always notice, and she'd move him, set him right, and then she would begin class. So one day, she's gone, and we get this grand idea that we should reverse the classroom. So we moved every desk, every person, everything, an exact mirror image of her classroom, except facing the opposite way. Everybody was in their seats and quiet when she walked in, and her face was just sort of a mixture of just sort of bemusement and because what are you going to do? So she couldn't move everything back, so she just taught class in the opposite direction that day, and then we had to move everything back. So one story that stands out is the bonfire.
The bonfire. Junior year, Ed and I were rally commissioners and in charge of the bonfire.
So we were in charge of making this bonfire. It's basically like a rally, but outside. I had never done one before, but it seemed pretty simple.
We worked really hard to get all the wood put in the very back of the school and trucked it out there. And it was unfortunate because it was kind of rainy. A lot of the wood was wet.
And it was kind of a misty day, so it was like a little wet. We didn't really think anything of it.
And so the night of the bonfire, we were worried that it wouldn't light.
So time for the bonfire arrives, and we go out there, and all the students start arriving, and the cheerleaders are there, and everybody's cheering, and we're starting the rah-rah, and then it's time to light the bonfire.
And we were right to be worried because it wouldn't light.
So we go, and Mr. G tells me that I should pour gas on it.
And so I had the microphone and I was talking about something or another, but no one was paying attention to me because Ed had decided to stoke the fire by pouring gas on it.
And I was a Boy Scout. I knew better. But Mr. G was a teacher. He told me to do it. And I'm like, sure, okay, this will make sense. This fire will start, no problem. So I put gas on the fire. Put the gas can down, light the bonfire, and the fire starts. Fireworks start shooting out occasionally because our good friends had put fireworks inside the bonfire while we were gone. So this is kind of distracting, but then the fire starts to die down and the fire goes out. So then Mr. G's like, oh, pour some more gas on there. So of course I do. I pour some more gas on there, and then I light the fire back up. It goes up, we're cheering, everybody's excited.
Fireworks started going off.
And it's starting to go down again. So then Mr. G's like, pour some more gas on there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So I'm pouring more gas on there as the fire's still going.
Fireworks started going off.
And this is a grand plan, everything's going great. And then I hear screaming.
Fireworks started going off.
And people are screaming. And
I looked around the crowd and saw fire slowly following Ed in the gas can.
And I look down and I see that my feet are on fire.
Oh shit, man! It's on fire! Wow, let's get out
I
of here.
forgot that I was talking on the microphone and I was screaming, "Oh no, Ed! Oh no, Ed!"
And I stomp my feet out, like touching one foot on top of the other.
Oh shit! Whoa, 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 whoa.
There's more screaming, people are running, and I see that there's a line of fire coming towards the gas can.
And it was just madness at that point.
And I run, I kick the gas can away from the flames as everybody runs away.
And it just kind of went off the hook from there.
And the bonfire was over.
It was the most eventful bonfire that I can remember of all 4 years. Even if the fire wasn't the biggest fire ever, it definitely was the only one in which a person caught on fire.